Alleluia, Alleluia. Everybody sing Alleluia, for the Lord has risen, it is true. Everybody sing Alleluia. 30 years he walked the land. Alleluia, Alleluia. To all in need he lent his hand. Alleluia, Alleluia, Alleluia. Everybody sing.
Hello, welcome to this playlist, which is devoted to an analysis and better understanding of the Second Vatican Council. In the last installment, we talked a little bit about the second document of the Council, which is called Mirifica. It addresses the various media of social communications. It can be said that this YouTube channel is an apostolate that has been empowered by the Second Vatican Council. All the children of the Church should join, without delay and with the greatest effort, in a common work to make effective use of the media of social communication in various apostolic endeavors. The laity, too, who have something to do with the use of these media, should endeavor to bear witness to Christ. The Council seemed somewhat prescient when it addressed how young people are affected by the media. Those who make use of the media of communications, especially the young, should take steps to accustom themselves to moderation and self-control in their regard. They should, moreover, endeavor to deepen their understanding of what they see, hear, or read. Parents should remember that they have a most serious duty to guard carefully lest shows, publications, and other things of this sort, which may be morally harmful, enter their homes or affect their children under other circumstances. If you're as old as I am, you probably noticed that many things, particularly certain things of a sexual nature, that were once considered evil are now considered to be perfectly fine and good. You've also probably noticed that the media seems to have been leading and forming public opinion in this regard. Some of this had already started when Mirifica was written, but it's interesting to read how the topic was treated by the Fathers of the Second Vatican Council. Media's influence can be so great that men, especially if they are unprepared, can scarcely become aware of it, govern its impact, or, if necessary, reject it. This paragraph is interesting in that the document clearly states that there's a need for competent authorities to provide judgments in regard to the quality of media. Unfortunately, it's unclear whether the paragraph is referring to secular or non-secular authorities. It certainly would make sense for the Church to assist the faithful in forming judgments, because paragraph 3 had already declared, "The Catholic Church considers it one of its duties to announce the good news of salvation, also with the help of the media of social communication, and to instruct men in their proper use." The general framework for this, as well as a precedent, had been established centuries earlier by the Council of Trent, when it authorized the creation of an index of prohibited books. Through the centuries, the system worked pretty well. As new books, which were deemed by the Church to be either heretical, anti-Catholic, or lascivious, were published, they'd be added to the index. Many newspapers would alert Catholics about books being added to the index as part of the newspaper's public duty. Good Catholics would take notice and avoid reading the prohibited books. Good Catholic booksellers would not sell prohibited books in their shops. The format of the index, however, became a bit outdated and cumbersome when motion pictures and television came onto the scene. Mirifica was a perfect opportunity for the Council Fathers to pastorally administer to Catholics in regard to the new media. Perhaps the Council Fathers, or at least some of them, thought that they were doing just that when they created a new office called the Secretariat for the Supervision of Publications and Entertainment. Unfortunately, the Council never really defined exactly what the Secretariat for the Supervision of Publications and Entertainment was supposed to do. In any case, the office was never created, and this paragraph went ignored by the post-conciliar Church. Instead of heroically addressing the duty that it had seemed to establish for itself in paragraph 3, in paragraph 12 of the same document, the Council Fathers seemed to cede to the secular authorities the responsibility that would be more appropriately been handled by the Church. Mirifica is one of the signals of the change that seemed to come with the Second Vatican Council. Instead of leading society, after the Second Vatican Council, the Church would let the world lead Catholics and thus let it lead the Church itself. The Church could have done much to encourage good and wholesome motion pictures and television programs. In fact, paragraph 14 says someone should do it. Unfortunately, it didn't seem to occur to the post-conciliar church that this was something that the church could or even should do. Finally, before the end of the council, on December 7, 1965, Pope Paul VI, in effect, abolished the Index of Prohibited Books. Since then, we Catholics have been sort of left on our own without the guidance of the Church. We have been, in effect, abandoned and orphaned. Recently, I was talking to somebody about a television show that featured so-called good witches. I pointed out that the show seemed to be trying to call good evil and calling evil good. In response, I was told that I should just lighten up because it was just a television show. And I suppose that's the way most people would look at it. But I have to wonder whether if the Church would actually get involved in these issues as it once had and provided Catholics with good, sound, moral guidance, maybe more people would be able to stay on the narrow path. Well, I hope you enjoyed this installment. We'll be back again, probably in about 2 weeks, with another one. In the meantime, please pray for the Church.
Take the bass line out. Jiggle.
Bounce with it.
Let it
Yeah.
bump though.